Surprising truth. Your concrete patio might be the most transformable surface at home. With paint, pattern, and a weekend, it can mimic tile, stone, or a bespoke rug without demolition. Today on Luxury Home Decor, we're exploring painted concrete patio designs in styles that feel seasonal, budget-savvy, and gloriously versatile. Whether your space is tiny or sprawling, these ideas focus on flow, color rhythm, and smart layering, so your patio becomes the hardest working room outside. Before brushes touch the ground, let's talk preparation, the glamorous secret behind every durable finish. Sweep thoroughly, degrease, and etch if necessary so primer clings like a handshake. Fill cracks with patch compound. Then choose a concrete primer designed for high traffic. When paint happens, thin coats win. Plan 2 to 3 coats plus a sealer for longevity. Good prep keeps patterns crisp through monsoon splashes, summer heat, and all the cozy evenings in between. Color sets the scene, and seasonal palettes keep things feeling fresh. For spring, try sage, dusty blush, and warm linen for a soft botanical energy. Summer loves saturated aqua, citrus, or coral paired with chalky whites. Autumn hums with terracotta, olive, and adobe pink. Winter whispers slate, pewter, and inky navy. Keep 3 tones: a base, an accent for pattern, and a grounding neutral. That trio makes improvising furniture, cushions, and planters effortless. Geometric stencils create instant architecture underfoot, especially when angles echo furniture lines. Choose a repeating hexagon, chevron, or lattice scale appropriate to your square footage. Small patios benefit from larger modules that reduce visual busyness, while expansive slabs sing with tighter repeats. Paint the base first, tape crisp guidelines, and roll accents with a foam roller. A final border stripe frames the field like trim, making the composition feel intentional and tailored. Mediterranean charm arrives with sun-washed blues, cream, and terracotta arranged as faux encaustic tiles. Use a 12-inch or 16-inch tile stencil in alternating motifs, then lightly dry brush a chalky overlay to soften edges. Add a terracotta-toned border, and repeat that hue on planters or lanterns for continuity. Olive trees, striped cushions, and woven textures echo the palette. The result feels vacation-ready, breezy, and serenely timeless without the maintenance of grout lines. Modern minimalism favors restraint and strong contrasts. Consider a graphite base with a wide, soft gray stripe that aligns beneath a dining table, visually widening the patio. Keep shapes clean, no filigree, just decisive planes. Introduce a third note like bone white within narrow pinstripes or a thin frame at the perimeter. Complement with powder-coated furniture, linear planters, and low-profile lighting. This approach reads quietly luxurious, especially with a matte sealer to reduce glare. Boho layers are about rhythm and relaxed imperfection. Start with a warm sand base, then stencil a hand-drawn mandala or scattered medallions in chalky clay and faded teal. Soften everything by lightly washing diluted paint across select areas, creating sun-kissed variation. Pile on kilim-style pillows, macrame accents, and jute poofs. The painted surface becomes the biggest textile outdoors, setting a dreamy, collected tone that feels curated but never precious, playful, or stiff. Farmhouse freshness leans into creamy whites, weathered grays, and barn-inspired grids. Tape a buffalo check pattern using 2 tones, oatmeal and stone. Keep edges feathered with a dry brush for lived-in charm. Frame the patio with a narrow plank border painted in driftwood beige to mimic boards. Add galvanized planters, striped throws, and lanterns. The pattern stays humble and friendly, making guests feel instantly at ease, like stepping into a sunlit country breakfast nook. Coastal calm is more than blue and white. It's atmosphere. Think misty seagrass green as a base, with scattered pebble-shaped spots in fog gray and dune beige. Blend edges slightly for a tide-worn effect. Pair with rope details, linen cushions, and bleached wood side tables. Keep accessories minimal so the floor remains the serene anchor. This palette feels perfect after rain, when everything glows softly and the patio becomes your quiet shoreline retreat. Desert Modern celebrates earthy warmth and shadow play. Paint an adobe base with crescent moons and arch motifs in rust and camel, arranged in a pleasing cadence. A tonal ombre band along one edge suggests a horizon line, helping small patios feel expansive. Complement with cactus silhouettes, low-slung seating, and hammered metal trays. The finish looks sophisticated in direct sun and magical at dusk, when candlelight emphasizes the gentle gradients underfoot. Industrial chic thrives on texture and confident neutrality. Start with deep cement gray, then add a mottled cloud effect using sponges dipped in slightly lighter tones. Mask off a gritty steel plate border with diagonal hash marks stenciled sparingly. Pair with black-framed furniture, reclaimed wood tops, and Edison-style string lights. The look respects concrete's honesty while still feeling designed. Matte or satin ceiling preserves the tactile vibe and resists scuffs beautifully. Tropical Modern balances exuberance with discipline. Use a rich jungle green base, then stencil oversized palm veins in a whisper light mint, spacing them generously. Introduce a narrow sand-colored runway beneath chaise lounges to guide furniture placement. Echo the mint on small accessories and the sand on lanterns or napkins. The palette keeps energy high without visual noise, inviting summer cocktails, lively conversation, and easy transitions from daytime lounging to nighttime gatherings. Japanese-inspired serenity begins with restraint. Choose a cool stone base. Then paint delicate rake sand lines in pale silver, interrupted by circular stepping stones, placed along a natural path. Keep the composition asymmetrical, with negative space doing the heavy lifting. Wooden stools, paper lantern shapes, and a single bold leaf plant finish the scene. This approach encourages slow mornings, tea rituals, and mindful evenings, transforming your patio into a contemplative outdoor room. Scandinavian lightness emphasizes clarity and comfort. Lay a hushed gray base, then add a soft white grid with subtly irregular spacing so it feels human, not mechanical. Select intersections with warm tan squares to introduce gentle warmth. Furnish with blonde wood, slouchy textiles, and candle clusters. The painted grid organizes the zone without shouting, guiding where rugs, benches, and planters naturally land, and leaving breathing room for life to unfold casually. Moroccan mood arrives through geometry and saturated accents. Paint a creamy base, then stencil star and cross shapes in indigo and saffron, but intentionally skip a few to let negative space breathe. Edge the patio with a deep cobalt band, slightly distressed for patina. Layer metal trays, patterned cushions, and lantern cutouts that echo the stencils. The effect is transportive, lush, and joyous, perfect for evening feasts, storytelling, and a celebratory rhythm that feels worldly yet welcoming. Mid-century inspiration loves confident shapes. Choose a warm oat base with abstract boomerangs and atomic dots in avocado and charcoal. Keep the scale generous so the pattern reads from a distance and supports angled furniture legs. A thin perimeter line in chartreuse ties it together without overwhelming. Pair with tapered tables, slatted benches, and playful planters. This look channels optimism, making the patio feel like the set of a great conversation from another era. Rustic lodge warmth leans on nature's palette. Start with a deep bark brown base. Then dry brush lighter cocoa across high spots for grain-like movement. Stencil subtle chevrons in ember orange at the perimeter. Think woven blanket edges rather than bold arrows. Add iron accents, plaid textiles, and oversized planters. The painted surface reads like weathered wood without splinters, emphasizing comfort and generosity. Ideal for gatherings around a chimenea or quiet afternoons with a book. Urban chic thrives on graphic restraint. Paint a cool graphite base and create a large off-center rectangle in soft white to define a lounge zone. Add one thin neon-like stripe, perhaps electric coral, running diagonally for a gallery vibe. Keep furniture sculptural with rounded edges to soften geometry. The result feels editorial and grown-up while being incredibly practical. That decisive composition tells guests where to land and invites playful rearrangement when the mood shifts. tile is a budget star, delivering elegance for the price of paint. Roll a warm limestone base, lay a chalk snap line grid, and stencil caterfoils or classic Portuguese patterns in slate and sky. Highlight select tiles with a whisper of glaze for depth. A narrow grout line painted with a fine brush completes the illusion. Maintenance is simple. Sweep, spot clean, reseal annually. Your patio reads like a custom installation without importing a single crate. Checkerboard remains timeless and easy. For a twist, soften contrast. Pair pale mushroom with warm white or dusted sage with cream. Lay squares at a 45-degree angle to elongate small patios. Use a laser level for crisp corners. Then add a pencil-thin border to finish. This pattern pairs with virtually any furniture style, from bistro sets to loungers, and adapts beautifully across seasons by swapping textiles, planters, and candle colors while the floor quietly holds everything together. Rug illusions work wonders for zoning. Paint the whole slab a calm base, then mask a rectangle under seating where a real rug might live. Fill with a subtle pattern, tiny dots, herringbone or brushlight stripes, and edge with a stitched binding. This approach keeps maintenance easy while delivering cozy definition. Change pillows and throws seasonally, but keep the painted rug consistent as your anchor. Guests will feel gently guided without noticing exactly why it works. borders matter. A handsome edge frames the story and protects from scuffs. Choose a 2-inch stripe in a grounding neutral, then add tick marks, microdashes, or corner flourishes depending on style. If your patio meets garden beds, echo the border color in planter rims. If it meets interior flooring, sample a related tone so transitions feel intentional. These details elevate even simple paint jobs, moving them from weekend project to design statement. Texture tricks add depth without complexity. After your base dries, lightly sponge a similar hue across select zones, concentrating near edges and high-traffic paths. The eye reads variation as luxury. For bolder texture, sprinkle salt on a damp glaze and brush it away once dry, leaving crystalline speckles reminiscent of weathered stone. Seal carefully so the effect remains subtle. Combined with simple furniture, texture makes the patio feel handcrafted and quietly special. Ombre panels stretch space beautifully. Choose 3 adjacent tones, say pale sand, warm taupe, and toasty caramel, and divide the patio into bands that transition gently. Keep edges softly feathered rather than masked. Orient the gradient along the longest dimension to amplify scale. This approach pairs with minimal furniture and allows colorful accessories to pop. As light shifts, the gradient breathes, creating a restful cadence perfect for slow breakfasts and golden hour conversations. Terrazzo effects are playful and forgiving. Paint a solid base, then flick or place irregular chips in 3 colors. One bold, one medium, one neutral. Keep chip sizes varied and spacing natural. A thin border in one chip color ties it together. Terrazzo loves modern, boho, and mid-century furniture alike, and it hides crumbs until cleanup time. It's also an excellent way to use leftover paint samples while creating a custom story underfoot. Let's pair patterns with furniture thoughtfully. If your seating has strong lines, choose softer, rounder motifs below. If furniture is curvy, anchor it with grid or linear graphics. Keep at least one color crossing from floor to cushions or planters for continuity. Aim for a 3-dimensional balance. Floor, mid-height tables, vertical greenery. So the patio reads as a layered room. The paint becomes structure, and the furnishings become character and comfort. Small patios benefit from optical strategies. Use larger-scale patterns with generous breathing room to reduce visual clutter. Keep color families tight. 2 adjacent hues plus a neutral, to avoid choppiness. Angled grids or diagonal checkerboards elongate dimensions, while a painted rug anchors seating without shrinking boundaries. Choose armless chairs and leggy tables to preserve sight lines. The overall effect feels light, functional, lovely, and surprisingly luxurious within modest square footage. These small adjustments keep the footprint feeling open, airy, and calm. Large patios thrive on zones. Paint subtle shifts, perhaps different stencils within related palettes, to define dining, lounging, and play. Repeat one unifying stripe or border through every section for cohesion. Allow pathways of unpatterned color to connect areas like hallways. This zoning keeps gatherings fluid. Kids know where games happen, guests find the conversation lounge, and meals naturally land where the tile underfoot becomes a quiet invitation, gently directing energy without rules. Lighting makes painted floors sparkle at night. Position lanterns or low string lights so they graze the surface, emphasizing edges and microtextures. Choose warm bulbs for amber ambience, or neutral white for crisper geometry. Consider solar stakes that align with a border stripe, reinforcing design lines after sunset. Because paint colors shift under different temperatures, test a few bulbs beforehand at dusk and later. When lighting supports the pattern, every evening feels like a thoughtful event. Weatherproofing is your insurance policy. After paint fully cures per manufacturer guidance, apply a sealer suited to your climate. Matte to reduce glare in bright sun, satin for gentle sheen, or gloss for dramatic reflections. In rainy seasons, choose slip-resistant additives for safety without dulling color. Reseal annually or biannually. Spot clean spills promptly. And keep abrasive dirt at bay with a good outdoor mat. These habits protect artistry and comfort long-term. Eco-minded choices make the patio feel even better. Seek low-VOC concrete paints and water-based sealers that cure hard but breathe. Upcycle leftover paint by mixing custom neutrals. And save small amounts for future touch-ups. Pair the floor with sustainable furnishings. FSC-certified woods, recycled metal frames, or textiles woven from reclaimed fibers. When materials align with values, the space nurtures not only lifestyle but also peace of mind, season after season. Safety blends seamlessly with style. If you host poolside or during wet seasons, add microgrit to your final coat in high traffic and stepped areas. Choose patterns that guide movement, subtle arrows, changing textures, or contrasting borders along edges, so guests intuitively navigate. Keep pathways at least 3 feet wide with calmer patterns for clarity. Good design is hospitable, ensuring everyone feels welcome and secure from daylight lounging to candlelit dinners, and confident during playful weekends. On a budget, prioritize impact zones. Paint a sophisticated rug beneath seating, add a border, and leave the remainder in a harmonizing neutral. Use economical sample pots for accent chips or stencils, saving full gallons for the base. Borrow palette cues from existing cushions to avoid replacing accessories. When funds allow, expand the pattern or refresh the sealer. Layering improvements over time keeps momentum while protecting your wallet and design integrity. DIY or hire a pro depends on scope and time. Simple checkerboards, borders, and painted rugs reward patient weekenders. Complex faux tiles, freehand motifs, and large gradients may warrant professional help for crisp execution and speed. Either way, mock up mini test squares on cardboard to confirm colors in sun and shade. A clear plan minimizes surprises and keeps the experience fun, creative, and satisfying from the first brushstroke to the celebratory seating moment. Common mistakes are easy to avoid. Skipping primer, rushing cure times, or choosing interior paint invite early peeling. Overcomplicated palettes can feel chaotic outdoors, where sunlight amplifies contrast. Disconnected furniture colors break the narrative, while neglecting borders leaves designs unfinished. Keep tools clean, maintain sharp tape lines, and protect edges while moving furniture. Perfection isn't the goal. Cohesion is. When each decision supports the whole, even humble patterns look elevated, integrated, and thoughtful.